All right, y'all, we're going to check out this boudoir photography business and see if it has BSS for these two Google searches. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that in the pinned video, pinned post, home video, wherever. That's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. A rise in boudoir photographers, rise in business, probably pulling peeps from the entire intent spectrum here. All the way on the left, the highest intent people, all the way on the right, the lowest intent people. And when a boudoir photography business is falling, they're missing some chunk of people somewhere on this, on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on way on the left, the highest intent people, focusing on BSS. These highest intent peeps are searching for boudoir photo shoots literally in our city right now on social search, social media search, and Google search. And all the way over on the right, the lowest intent peeps, that's our other brand, our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we're talking about BLCS. And currently we only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand per month on boudoir Facebook ads. Lowest intent people, but it's the highest volume of peeps in our city that exist. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, we're dying a fast death here because that means we're on page 2 or deeper. And we also know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means, dude, approximately 80% of the peeps, literally the bulk of the market, would never even see us if we're on page 2 Google search. So we definitely got to be on page 1, but 1 slot on page 1, that ain't enough. We're looking the same as everyone else. Everyone, other boudoir photographers going to have 1 slot. And, a buyer is just going to be, clicking everyone on page 1, open them up, contacting them, price shopping, comparing. And, they 80% ain't even going to page 2. So we're really only competing against page 1 peeps over here. So that is boudoir search sameness. Now, 0 out of 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal. That's such few page 1 slots on Google. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know about this one. It's where, people get a new iPhone and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying that they, offer boudoir, throwing up their website, ranking on page 1 on Google. And also if they get new camera, if someone gets new camera posted in the mom Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. So most people know about that. Also, big market saturation. When COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, still earned money. And dude, everyone who's got his phone has got a great camera, so a lot became boudoir photographers. Why there's a massive deluge of boudoir photographers in at that time. Next, we got the false belief of page 1 equality. So this, from what I've seen, is the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is the false belief. So the belief of page 1 equality is, basically every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And maybe you had 1 slot on page 1, but some more boudoir photographers came into the market, and your website got pushed down to page 2 on Google, and you're like, that's how it is. It is what it is. But no, that is incorrect. That's not normal. That's the false belief of page 1 equality. What's actually true is Google actually wants to give us and will give us, or wants to give and will give the as many page 1 slots as possible to whoever puts in the effort to take them. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 in Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days, utilizing this new methodology we've developed. So false belief of page 1 equality, it's not real. Everyone is accepted as real, everyone is accepted as normal, and it's not. That's completely wrong. So because it's kind of like a brain cage, people don't even see it's possible to break out of it, so they don't even know solutions are out there. But we do have the solution now. And but before that, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. I think if we're on page 2, we got 0 slots on page 1, then basically nope. Approximately 80% of searches ain't never gonna find us. So we're disappearing. If we're one slot on page 1, we look the same as everyone else, being price shopped. Um, we're not standing out. We're not getting any subconscious bonus points. And so, disappearing boudoir photographer. This is the canary in a coal mine to a disappearing boudoir photography business. So if we got BSS, we know we're disappearing. We're on the we're going down the wrong path here. That's the signal for us that hey, we got to turn things around. Luckily, we do have the solution. We have it because we created it. We invented this. It's called the S-cubed methodology, social search saturation. It is doing exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest intent keywords, so it can be found on search on social media. People search those keywords for boudoir photo shoots in their city, and these are kind of like the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountain that then flow into the large Amazon River, which would be Google. So these results flow into Google, page 1 of Google, and this is the only solution that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually successfully fight back and overcome and still grow a business in the face of market saturation and get results relatively quickly, because the only other solution for that is a strong brand, which takes years, 5 or more years, probably more than a decade to acquire. So S-cubed methodology gets results way faster than that, and it actually accelerates becoming a brand name as well. So, imagine let's say we got a million boudoir photographers. Dallas, Texas, we're one of them. Everyone's got their websites and their boudoir photographer. Find a rank page 1 on Google. But let's say we crank S-cubed methodology up to the max, where we're occupying like the first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across the 4 major social networks. And as a result, that flows onto Google. We're occupying the first 300 slots on Google for the highest intent keywords as well. Then anytime anyone in Dallas is searching for a boudoir photo shoot, dude, they're basically only going to see us for the first 30 pages, because Google's 10 organic slots per page. So a buyer's basically got to hit page 31 to bring in any or find a bunch of other competing boudoir photographers in Dallas. So we're saturating everywhere: social search, Google search, wherever they look. So who business is growing, even though there's 1 million boudoir photographers in the city? Only ours. And that's because we would have taken S-cubed methodology to the max in the face of extreme market saturation. Now, once BSS is treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. Now, a bonus of this is that for every 1 slot we get on Google page 1, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They are page 1 only searches. So it's kind of a bonus effect of us getting way more page 1 slots on Google. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. This is where we have our GBC recommended minimum of, we want to actually hit 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google minimum. And the reason for that is, everyone else is basically going to have 1 slot. So our 3 slots to their 1 slot. First of all, we've kicked out 2 more competitors to be compared against, or maybe even 3 if we had started with 0 slots. And, searchers, buyers subconsciously are going to say, like, why is Google recommending this person 3 different times? I'm going to click into them first and maybe not even look at the other people on page 1. So that's 3 slots versus 1. Very, very rarely someone will have 2 slots, so we'll still be looking at as the better option by having 3 slots over the one that has 2 slots. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the twin horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. But finally, thankfully, we have a solution here. S-cubed methodology works way faster than building a brand that takes a decade. and we achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term, see right up here, BLCS boudoir. And so let's go down to the organic slots. So we got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So literally, I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. And now we're going to check out this. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS, what we've been talking about, boudoir search sameness. All right. The first search, we always do the local search. This is boudoir photographer, Langley Township, British Columbia. So it's out east, some suburb part or whatever of BC. So we got the Google 3-pack. All right. Now we're at the the organic. So we got Klein. All right, this is who we're looking for. So we got one slot. And then let's see. All right, Klein again, but that's Langley Branding Photographer. It's not boudoir. We're not relevant to the keywords that we actually searched. So people's brains are actually going to scroll right by this, not even see it because they're searching for boudoir. And this happens like instantly in their brain. So that doesn't count. Going down, going down, going down. All right, so Klein, we got 1 out of 10 here. So that's BSS for this search, the local search. Let's go to the city level search. Now we're searching boudoir photographer, Vancouver, BC. So we're still looking for Klein again. All right, we got Klein here, boudoir, all right. And that's it. We got BSS for both searches. So, as more market saturation happens, higher chance, we'll begin pushed off, that we get pushed off page 1 to page 2 of death. And even on page 1, we're looking the same as everyone else, having only 1 out of 10 links here. So again, this is the false belief of page 1 equality in action, which is actually the most common false belief I'm seeing among boudoir photographers. All right, so if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search or city search with the highest intent boudoir by your keywords, you're seeing you got either 0 or 1 slots there, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google, and you've accepted that page 1 equality is a false belief. The false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. You're seeing that Google actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you're actually seeing that S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, the only solution for you that can fix this. And you've been waiting for something like this because, the ads, Google PPC, give you a best 1 extra slot, but momentum dies once you stop spending. These do have some momentum that does continue, not infinitely, but these do have momentum. And you like the initial benefits, more slots page 1 on Google. You really like the second initial benefit, kicking your competitors off page 1 on Google, relegating them to page 2, and effectively rendering them invisible to approximately 80% of boudoir buyers that are using Google search. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, more peeps get new gear, more boudoir photographers enter the market, got it. But you're also looking ahead and seeing, man, AI is taking people's jobs right now. AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs right now. Last time that happened, COVID, big influx of boudoir photographers happened as a result of that in COVID. So realizing, oh man, actually a much bigger wave than before is coming to boudoir photography, way more boudoir photographers. And you have decided that, man, you actually need to fortify your position on page 1. You literally need to have so many links, backups to the backup links on Google that they can't rank all your links on page 1. And they stand like, page 2, 3, 4, because Google wants to put them on page 1, but now there's no more room. And you basically need to fortify your page 1 position to essentially guarantee no current competitors rank on page 1, and certainly no new competitors that come in from AI taking their jobs can rank on page 1. So you're seeing all that, and fortifying, kind of like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because the city is below sea level. And you're saying SQ methodology is also the only solution for boudoir photographers that can do that. And you want to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer and achieve boudoir search visibility because you understand you need to acquire these things, do all these things on your path to becoming the number one boudoir photographer in your city. You also like the future benefits of utilizing SQ methodology now, which we've not talked about yet, but every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we are essentially creating these invisible thematic keyword columns that, plug into our brand, our name, our website, associated with it, kind of out there in cyberspace, digital space, that actually means backend AI mindshare. We increase our backend AI mindshare for all these terms based on frequency, repetition, authority, age, relevance. And every single day we do this, it increases the probability we actually will get recommended for AI overview. So we're kind of building these thematic, keyword clusters, invisible thematic keyword columns all around associated with our brand, our handles, everything about us. And AI can parse this. So we're increasing the probability of this. We're increasing the probability we also show up AI search, standard AI search, which is ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Increase the probability we are showing up in all these searches as when people use their AI search. And yeah, Google's virtually 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is increasing every single day. And when I last did an AI search searching for boudoir photographers, I searched the city. ChatGPT gave me only 3. So I actually went and looked manually for basically on Google and on Facebook, how many there are out there, and there's like 60. So it's like, man, we need every possible way to get recommended AI search if there's only 3 slots. And you're saying SQ methodology is the only solution that can give you the best, that can allow you to do that. And you understand that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So what you've realized is you decide to become the first mover in your city, get that first mover advantage, kick out all your other boudoir photographer competitors, prevent them from using this strategy. You get all the benefits, more slots page one, more people kicked off page one to page two, effectively making them visible to approximately 80% of the market. Higher chance of fortifying your position on page one, so nobody can ever rank on page one besides you. Higher chance recommended AI search, higher chance recommended standard, or recommended AI overview and recommended standard AI search. Approximately 8x faster in building a large, well-known brand because we'll be seen across so many different surfaces. And building up a massive gap, kind of AI back-end AI mindshare momentum gap between your competitors in your city with all of these, invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand. And you understand the converse. If another boudoir photographer hopped on this, decided to go with me first, they would get all those benefits. You would actually be forced off page 2 and potentially you'd be forced off page 1, potentially also forced off page 2 and page 3 and deeper. Man, there's definitely basically no one going that deep. And you'd be losing that AI mindshare. Your competitor would be recommended again, above and against you instead of you. You would be losing those slots, losing all that mindshare in the marketplace. And more boudoir photographers are entering every day, so you'd actually be worse and worse for you every single day. And this means your competitor would be growing our gap between you every single day. You'd have to actually go rederive, or actually drive for the first time SQ methodology for yourself. And then you would have to go execute it, equal amount of execution as us every single day. And then once that happens, you're simply maintaining the gap that me and your competitor would have already built up against relative to you. So you're just maintaining the gap. So you'd have to actually outwork us 2 or 3x every single day to actually start to get some of your links on page one and go pull that back into AI mindshare back towards your brand for all these invisible thematic keyword columns. But during all this, you're still not even 100% confident you've derived SQ methodology correctly in the first place. So probably wouldn't be putting in 2 to 3x our effort into it, doing it yourself. And the second thing is, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this? So after hearing all that, you're like, screw that. I'm definitely being the first mover and adopter in my city, blocking out everyone else from using this. And as a result, we are, so if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed because the hospital is currently closed to new patient intake. And then when we do open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot us a DM then, and we will see if you qualify to utilize our SQ's methodology.